Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today I want to discuss about my academic paper result and the material is the part of sociolinguistic. The topic is analyzing the social dialect of the thrift shop sellers at Pajak Melati, Medan, Indonesia. Before I explain the material, I will introduce myself first. My name is Judy Azhari. I'm from English Literature Department, University of North Sumatra. And the slide one is purpose of academic essay. This academic essay particularly unveils two main aspects found in social dialect, its influencing factor and its criteria at Pajak Melati, Medan, Indonesia. And the next is five-part structure of academic essay. The first is introduction, the second is theoretical review, the third is analysis in two themes, which is influencing factors and criteria, and the fourth is conclusion, and the fifth is reference. And the next slide is introduction from dialect, general view on dialect. From Holmes and Wilson, 2017, dialect as a variant of language that is determined by the background of the speaker's origin and is related to the area of geographical location is called dialect. And from Fishman 1970, dialect as a system that affects a society by distinguishing it from other neighboring communities and by using a different system although closely related. And the second is introduction from sociolinguistic and social dialect. Sociolinguistic sees regional difference between groups based on natural boundaries. Kafi and Mutalizadeh 2016 and Yule 2020 said social groups can be determined by the economic status, education, and power status. And Lin 20 and 14, Meyerhoff 20 and 18, and O'Connor 20 and 14 said, social dialect arrived as a variety of language used by certain group that distinguish it from other groups of society based on occupation, gender, age, education, and activities. It also means the dialect is used by speaker in certain areas based on the speaker's social variable and is spoken by speaker based on social variables. And the third is introduction from social dialect and Indonesian context. Social dialect is used to analyze the spread of local language in Indonesia. It brings local language a cultural change in their daily activities. The spread of this local language may be learned from the social dialect culture that occurs in the community. In the spread of local language, there is also the problem on why people from the same community are also affected by the dialects of immigrants. The use of different dialects used in the same language in communicating, and the guidance to follow the meaning which will be discussed. And the next slide is theoretical review criteria. Pardede 20 and 14 said, social dialect comes in five terms. The first is variety of formal language. The second is variety of official language. The third is variety of casual language. And the fourth is variety of business language. And the last is variety of intimate language. And influencing factor come with five subterms. Stockwell 20 and 02 and Wardoch and Fuller 20 and 21. The first is age, the second is gender, the third is occupation, the fourth is nobility, and the last is economic status. And this is the documentation of the process of my analysis. Picture 1 in front of Pajak Melati and picture 2 and 3 beside at Pajak Melati. And I take the picture on Friday, and it's the market days of Pajak Melati, and so we can saying the crowded of shopping people. And the next is who is to analyze. The first is direct observation was done at Pajak Melati, Medan, Indonesia, place for imported goods and thrift. And the second is subject are thrift shop seller. They're from various backgrounds. And the last is the dialect that they use is mostly a mixture of Bataknese, Bahasa Batak Toba, and Indonesian. And the next is analysis of influencing factors in social dialect. And the first is, in terms of influencing factors, the sellers were proven to not consider age, the lack of use in Hata Anding. Gender difference Indonesia versus Bataknese were found in the use of Bataknese dialect and standardized Indonesia. And the last is occupational factor on such role. While nobility and economic status difference were not really considered. And the last is analysis of criteria in social dialect. The criteria found were only causality and small amount of business term, bargaining, and transaction. The analysis came to agreement the formal language and official language didn't exist at Pajak Melati Medan Indonesia. The seller talked with the no parameter of formal or politeness. Business language was won a bit because this was a process of transaction at the market. Some seller and buyer used the term of bargaining and asking for a reduced price. Then casual language was the most used from of social shop. And they talk casually, and the last is intimate language was mostly did not exist because the seller that I observed tend to be very individualistic. There was no intimate connection. And the conclusion is summarize this academic essay focuses on analyzing social dialect among the thrift shop seller at Pajak Melati Medan Indonesia. In particular, the research of this academic essay unveiled the influencing factors and criteria found under the case of the seller produced utterance. First, in terms of influencing factors, the seller were proven to not consider age, gender difference were found in the use Bataknese dialect and standardized Indonesia. Occupational factor on such role, while nobility economic status difference were not really considered. Next, it can also be concluded that the criteria found were only causality and small amount of business terms. Formal, official, and intimate consideration were not taken into an account. And this is the reference, and I think that's all of my presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.